in 3, 2, 1, we go. Ladies and gentlemen, how you doing tonight? This is Paulo Prezzotto here, straight from San Francisco, California, with another one of those Tamo Junto SF. Tamo Junto is community media. Yeah, we're going pirate, everybody. We're bringing local artists focused in the San Francisco Bay Area Latino community, Brazilian, and all those misfits that you know we exist, but you might not know where to find us. Right here at Tamo Junto SF. Good evening, y'all. How you doing? Let me go ahead and share this video that just started. Where is the thing? It should be right here at Tamo Junto. How's everyone doing tonight? You know, I have a very special guest, and this guest is one and only. But let me find the video first so I can share here what's going on. I see the videos, and I finally see the video going. Here it is.
I finally see the video going.
You saw it before me. So let's put that on mute. Whatever Facebook thing you got coming in, Persia, let's put it on mute and let me share this right now to my page and see who's coming in. Vocês sabem que eu estou aqui todo dia, né, rapaziada? Eu vou... Se você está direto no Brasil... Opa, já, olha a surpresa. Olha a surpresa. E aí, quem que tá com a gente aqui? Luiz Helena Kerliger. Tudo bem com você? All right. So, we're here now extremely working. I would like to introduce you to the one and only, the San Francisco drag queen Latina power, Persia is here with us tonight. Persia, how you doing?
Oh my God, I'm very well, but I'm trying to figure out how to post this.
Oh yeah. So here's how it happens. Do you see on my page now? There is a new video, like a live thing going on.
I see it now, but you know what?
Now you just have to pop the share button. And then it's going everywhere. I would like to acknowledge that this show would not be possible without Brazil Best Magazine. Brazil Best Magazine is your channel for Brazilian community in the Bay Area. BrazilBest.com. You got all the info of what's going on within our community. Persia, I heard you are not in San Francisco and you are in LA. What's up with that?
I know. Well, I don't know if you can hear it, but there's a helicopter right above us. But yes, I am. I'm originally from South Central LA, but I've been living in the Bay Area for 15 years now. So Bay Area is my home, San Francisco to be exact. And yeah, so I came down here because my parents work at this meat market, a carniceria. That they own it. They've been working there for the past 20 plus years, 25.
Mom and pop shops. We love that.
Exactly. Yeah. And you know, it's a little like mom and pop shop. So it's not like, you know, anything crazy or rich or anything, but it's, you know, it's a job. And so after this like whole pandemic thing, it's been kind of crazy. So I came down here because in San Francisco, before everything closed down, in, you know, here in LA, everything in San Francisco started closing down. So, you know, I work at a school. I work at an after-school arts program where I'm a teacher for, a head teacher for first grade. And well, that closed down. And then all of a sudden, all my drag gigs got canceled. So then I was out of a job. Oh, jobs.
Man. as we can, we could never survive with just one job in the Bay anyways, right?
Of course, because you know it's so expensive up there.
Oh Jesus,
it's insane. But yeah, so I came down here just for a weekend because my friend was going to visit her mom in San Diego, and she's like, "Oh, do you want to ride?" And I was like, "Yeah." And so what was supposed to be a weekend turned out to be now I've been here for over a month.
Mm.
And it's been kind of crazy, but it's been an experience.
It
I
is, yeah,
didn't
and
spend
we
so
have a
much time at
full hour to talk about all kinds of crazy. But before we start
home.
diving and never stop talking, as we always do, I would like to start with music. I want to play this track called "Cosmic Ways" with Sancha. Tell us a little bit about your partnership with Sancha, and then we dive into "Cosmic Ways."
Oh my goodness. So yes, so Sancha is my drag daughter. And she's an amazing singer, songwriter, and and she's an amazing choreographer. And no, just kidding. I'm just being.
I know we're gonna show some videos. Folks will have the chance to see the taste of developed choreography and body expression.
Well, you know what? So we met in the Bay Area a million years ago, and we were just drinking buddies, and then all of a sudden I found out that she was a singer, and then I was like taking her to all my drag gigs, and she was performing left and right. And then for a musician, especially in the Bay Area, it's if you don't have money, it's really, I mean, it's hard in general, but
Yep.
especially in the Bay Area because it's so expensive. So she's had her journey, and you've met her because she used to work at SF Jazz, where I used to work too. And
Yeah, that's where it all began.
that's the connection, SF Jazz. And so yes, and now she's been like, she's like blossoming and turning into a beautiful, beautiful young lady.
Isn't it pretty to see your child go out in the world and conquer all these beautiful things?
I know it's really beautiful, and it's so awesome to see like such an amazing, like in general, seeing someone who's talented, like successful is amazing. But when you've seen this person from like like the song says, started from the bottom, now we're here. And it's kind of like that, and she's like working her way up, and it's showing. And she did Red Bull, the music festival last year, and she did this whole novella performance at a church, and it was amazing. So yeah, but you know what? I can go on and on about her. So let's
hear it.
because this is one of my this is one of my favorite songs. Not only my favorite song, but I love performing this song. And yeah, just listen to the lyrics; they're awesome.
Let's do it. Cosmic Ways, Sancha. ¿Dónde están las droguitas? Trague la mota.
Yeah, and we have
Pásame las drogas, pásame las drogas, límpiame el cerebro, límpiame el cerebro. Pásame las drogas, pásame las drogas, límpiame el cerebro, límpiame el cerebro. Tú me pagaste con drogas, tú me pagaste con drogas. Me las eché toditas, me las tomé toditas. Tú me pagaste con drogas, tú me pagaste con drogas. Me las eché toditas, me las tomé toditas. We were deep inside this game where I the flames. This one's not a game. You told me together we could change our name in so many colors. You told me together we could change our name as long as I follow your flame. Ooh, 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 once I felt the flames, I fled. I ran away. Drogada era valiente on these drugs. I was so brave, but sober I feared your cosmic waves. You told me together we could make a name in so many colorful ways. You told me together we could make a name in so many colorful ways. You told me
Cosmic ways. Wow, Sancha. I want to jump into this cultural heritage of yours, and Sancha also kind of shares that same background. You guys navigate the Latino community and your American side pretty fluid, huh? The Spanglish and dame la droga and get me those things, they flow really easily and naturally for you guys, right? What's the choice there?
Well, yeah, the thing is like, we're not, we're, it's like we're all these things, but then we don't belong to any of those things too. It's really complicated to explain because in one way, yes, we're Latinx, but then in that community, sometimes we don't fit because we're too Americanized. And then in the U.S. Americanized version, we're too brown. So it's really hard to really navigate things like that. But thankfully now, like, there's so much community, and there are spaces now for us who are, we identify with everyone and everything, and we're not only Latinx, but like we're also from the US, but we're also queer and all these things. We're not just one thing, because as humans we're complicated human beings. We're not just one thing.
Absolutely.
Exactly. And so and it's just so awesome to see.
And we're having a chance here, just being in the Bay. And now the more I talk to folks here during this quarantine, I find out that the music scene, it's a complete cultural jam. I do have most of my audience, they're Brazilians, and folks in Brazil that are not used to this much mix and so fresh in the culture. It's not like, like back in São Paulo where I come from, my grandfather was a immigrant or whatnot. No, over here it's like we're bumping on that every day. So we're talking Spanglish, we're Portuñol, todas las costas mezcladas.
Yes.
Exactly.
No, but you know what? So in San Francisco, I didn't realize that there's a huge Brazilian community, right?
Oh yeah.
About maybe 2 years ago, there's a new party started called Safada.
Safada, yeah, I know about Safada very much.
Yes, and so I performed a few times for that party, and God, it was so amazing. It was so cool because then I got to hear all these amazing remixes of like Shakira in Portuguese. I was like, what? And there's like all these like Mexican, or well, not, Shakira's not Mexican, but like Thalia is Mexican, and there's all these like other like Spanish singers, um, and then they're all translated in Portuguese, and I was like,
And
oh wow, that's
you get to hear some of the new wave of performers from Brazil. You got Pablo Vittar there.
exactly yes.
And Pablo Vittar played. Were you there at that show for the? It was it wasn't the, yeah, it was the San Francisco Gay Parade this past year that
It
Pablo
was-
had a space on the main stage.
So I host the main stage on Saturday, not on Sunday. So on Saturday, the main stage for Gay Pride in San Francisco is mainly for like the community, like the Bay Area community. So it's really awesome to host it. And I've been co-hosting it with my friend Yves Saint Cresson. And so then we get to see all these like really it's all the homies performing on stage. But then on Sunday is more of a global like a global stage, you know. And so last year I was so excited because I was like, I told the organizer, I was like, Jen, you better I need to meet Pablo Vittar because I'm like the biggest fan. And she was like, yeah, girl, you know, I got you, girl, I got you. So I was like, okay, cool. But then Sancha actually, she was headlining at the mezzanine for Hard French, which is one of my favorite parties. Um, and so she was one of the headliners. So, and I was gonna introduce her. So then I had to go to the mezzanine and like figure that out. But then I wanted to go to the main stage and meet Pablo Vittar. So then I went to the
Oh
main
my
stage
God, so much going on in the celebrity life.
it was crazy. And then there was a protest, and so everything got held back. So, long story short, okay, I said a lot, but I didn't get to meet Pablo. But maybe one day.
Yeah, it will happen. It will happen. Actually, there was a Pablo Vittar concert scheduled for the August Hall, but you know, Corona hit. But and then another thing I want to jump right into because I want to talk about the origins of Persia. And when did you move from LA to San Francisco? Like 15 years ago, you mentioned, right? At that time, were you already a performer, or you were still kind of working it out? How did Persia come about?
So, growing up here in South Central LA, my favorite show was called Girlfriends, right? And it was a show about four African American young women, and but there is this one character in particular. Her name in the show is her name is Lynn, and she was this like she had like 4 degrees, but she was a hippy dippy like bisexual that was just like whatever, blah blah blah. Never had a job for whatever reason. I identified with her. So when I became a drag queen, I named myself after her because her her real name is Persia White. So because I was so infatuated by her, I named myself Persia. But yeah, when I moved to San Francisco, I moved up there for school, and then I never left. And actually, I got into San Francisco Art Institute, which is sadly now closing. I got in
Yeah.
there because after I did my undergrad, I wanted to see grad school, but I was too scared because it's so expensive. So then I did this post-bac program. So it's like a program, not undergrad, but not quite grad school. So it's like in between. So I did a year there, and I got in because here in LA for about a year, I was taking pictures of drag queens. So that got me into art school. And that I thought that's what I was gonna do. I was just gonna take pictures of drag queens. Never in a million years did I think that I was gonna become one. And so, yeah, then from a joke that all happened, and look at me now. I've been doing this shit for like 10 something years.
And you're being you, and it's what's amazing about your character. It's that you utilize that persona to to such a great impact in the community, not only the queer community, but also the fact that you work with kids and you have to demystify that for them in a way, and also the activism that we see on your video clips, and you're pretty satirical with the way you put things together. And one of the subjects that you ended up really getting around is the gentrification and the fact that to be an artist in the Bay Area is really hard. And you have a video out that is from 2013. The to see
Right, yes.
how actual it still is, because we're still fighting the same monster, the gentrification monster. It's pretty present, and I want to share with some folks here the video of Google apps, and then I'll let them think about the video for a minute while we come back with all the social critics contained in that piece of art.
No, it's kind of crazy. And then I get to connect my laptop because it just got disconnected. But yes, play it. It's a really funny, not a funny story. It's an interesting story. But yes, which we never thought it would go viral, but it did. But yeah, play it.
It did. Watch out. Google apps by Persia.
And Daddy's plastic.
Twitter me, Facebook me. Hey girl, did you tag me in that pic? Silicon Valley. Hey girl, did you get that eviction notice? Google apps, Google apps, gringa apps. I just wanna be white. Google apps, Google apps, gringa apps. I just wanna be white.
I wanna be white, Daddy. Daddy, please. Daddy, please.
For Christmas, girl, for Christmas. Queers, all the queers, we're on the move. Hey girl, where the fuck are you moving to? Moving to the East Bay, living life the broke way. SF, keep your money. Fuck your money. Google apps, Google apps, gringa apps. I just wanna be white. Google apps, Google apps, gringa apps. I just wanna be white.
How does one become white? A little bleach might do the trick. Well, I bleach my asshole, does that count?
I don't know.
Wanna see? Duh. Bye.
Techies, take the mission. Techies, gentrify me, gentrify my love. My motherfucking
Bye.
Google apps, Google apps, gringa apps. I just wanna be white. Google apps, Google apps, gringa apps. I just wanna be white. Google apps, Google apps, gringa apps. I just wanna be white. Google apps, Google apps, gringa apps. I just wanna be white.
This was Google apps, and I don't even know where to start, but I'll start shooting here. Well, first, the big gentrification problem that we all know was brought by tech companies. Then there is the I just wanna be white. That makes it within the identity crisis that we were talking about earlier. Like I'm not Latino enough, but I'm also not American enough. So I guess I just want it for Christmas, and then we're not religious enough, but we love our Navidad. And how did the inspiration come for that? How did you guys write that thing?
So it was a really hard time for all of us actually, because um, at that time, um, SF MoMA, which is where I used to work, because I just got laid off again. But in during that time, 2013 or whenever the video came out, SF MoMA was shutting down the San Francisco Museum of Modern Art, where I used to work, was shutting down for an expansion, and so they laid off all the frontline staff, which is me, right? And then at the same time, my drag home, which is called Esta Noche on 16th Street between Mission and Valencia in the Mission, was being threatened because of gentrification. So then they're like, oh, we want to buy this old gay Mexican bar and turn it into a New York style lounge.
Ooh la la.
And
Yeah.
so then that was happening, and so I was going through all this turmoil, and also I was living with my ex, and him and I were experiencing like our landlord harassing us and trying to kick us out, and so we kept getting these constant messages of like, if you can't afford to live here, you should move out, blah 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 blah. So that was on my end. So that's that. And then there's Sancha. Sancha couldn't find an affordable housing, and like she kept couch surfing all over the Bay Area. She found a spot, and she literally lived in a mud room for $500 a month. You know what a mud room is, right? It's just a freaking like, it doesn't have any doors. It's just like a space where you come in.
Yeah,
That's
no, it's pretty amazing, and
Yeah.
the number of empty units in San Francisco. On the flip side of that, it's also pretty amazing.
Yeah, and also our friend, Luke, also known as Vane Hain, they were going through some like they had just been kicked out of the city. They were trying to figure out where they're going to live in the East Bay, and then also Tyler Holmes, which is my other drag child. And so we were all like really going through it. And so, you know, Daddy's Plastic had just formed, and I was going through it, and I remember seeing them perform at the Eagle one night, and I was just like in full face, and I was crying because everyone was against me at Esta Noche, because that Esta Noche fundraiser, oh, if I can write a book, it's gonna be really good, because there was so much shady
You
shit.
can write a book.
No, I don't have it.
Should.
No, because there was so much shady shit coming from City Hall of all places. And so there's certain like politicians that I don't mess with. I used to, and I have for other reasons, but no. Anyway, so it all came out of our circumstances. It wasn't like, oh, this is gentrification, this is what we're gonna do. No, it came from like our life experience, and this is what resulted. And then
And that's why it got completely viral, because everyone was feeling the same pressure. It was just like you placed that thing on the bullhorn, and we were like, yes, that is exactly what we want to say. And after Google apps, how did that impact your career? You feel like there is a certain label connected to it, or your performances have been so broad that you don't necessarily have an attachment to it?
Well, I've always had a really hard time performing, because when I first started, I actually started in the Castro at a Latino night. And then once that closed down, it got remodeled, there was no night. Then I moved to the Mission at Esta Noche. And so then when I got asked to perform in the Castro, you know, people are like, "Oh, who are you?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm Persia. I perform in the mission at Esta Noche." And they're like, "Oh, Esta Noche, ew, Esta Nightmare." And so there was like always shitty shit because it was a dump, but it was like my home, so I don't care. You know, that was my drag home. But
Yeah, I actually had a friend that a gay friend from Brazil that came to visit Castro and said a black guy, and he said, "Man, I totally do not dig the scene on Castro right now. It's all this like upper scale folks that want to, you know, somehow, and the feminine energy of the places, they're gone. You know, you go to a bar on the Castro and all the super buff dudes and their big beards and they're all trying to be really masculine. We're like, okay, where is it that I'm missing here?"
yeah, so it was, you know, since I started, it's always been weird because I've been like, "Oh, she's like the Esta Noche queen." Uh, but then, but then once this happened, then I started getting labeled as like the political queen, which that's not even what I was going for. You know, I do what I do because I love my job, and if I see that something's wrong, I'm gonna speak up. You know what I'm saying? And so, if that's political, then that's fine.
You're in the
But you
field
know,
of education.
and so
So
exactly, and so you know, um, we go, myself and my friends, we go about our lives uh, in search of like happiness, but also social justice. So if we see shit that's not okay, then we're gonna speak up. And it just happens that we made a song and a video that went viral all over the world, which is
yeah, it did
freaking insane.
justice.
Also, the video has been featured in so many museums. And I'm like, how the hell are we in this museum? And I've never been to like whatever the country it was known at, you know? And I'm like, dang.
That's the beauty of globalization. Speaking of the beauty of globalization, but also back into the roots of your drag childs, our next drag child that you have to present to the world here is Tyler Holmes.
Yes, they're homos.
Tell me more. Tell me more.
Well, you know, I met Tyler Holmes, or as I like to call Tyler Homos, which is terrible because we also work together at the school. So like sometimes like when the kids come up to me and then I see Tyler, you know, down the yard, and I'm like, just go ask Tyler Homos, and they look at me like, what you say? I'm like, sorry, Tyler Holmes.
But how do you guys navigate that? Like the Persia persona and the first grade teacher. Have you had conflicts there? How do you? I
No,
guess
you
the
know what?
kids are totally fine with it, but the problem would be the parents, no?
Actually, I am very lucky because all the parents know. Actually, the reason why my makeup is coming off was because I had a meeting earlier at my work, and then we had on Fridays we have this thing called Friday Cabaret, and so then I performed and I did this song, and so again the kids already know, they're very familiar with me. They know they know what I do, and it's actually really awesome that I always say this: I am the luckiest drag queen in the world because I get to do everything I love, and you know, and I feel like if people know that you're not being an asshole, then they will support you. So for the
Absolutely.
most part, I'm supported.
And your colleagues with Tyler in the same spot. And the track that we have here,
Yes, Tyler Holmes, and I met Tyler Holmes many years ago because of Sancha. Sancha was performing somewhere in the East Bay and somewhere in Oakland, I think. I'm not sure, but and then they met, and then after that, Sancha's like, "Oh my God, you have to meet Tyler. Tyler is amazing." And then we sort of just like fell in love, and yeah, that's my other drag child. And seriously, one of the most angelic voices you will ever hear in your life. And if you ever have the opportunity to hear him live, you will cry. It's It's that bad. Well, maybe it's just because my sign is a Cancer.
I'm a crier. I don't even believe me.
It's so beautiful.
Let's play Tyler Holmes for everyone here. I just want to acknowledge some of our folks online. Erica Erickson talking about the social justice related issues here with us. Louisa, hello, how you doing? Ricky Guido from LA, super friend. Charlene Formenti is here with us tonight, Persia. Yeah. All right. Let's hear music and we'll be right back to talk more about live performances, drag story hour, and how to make a living in times of Corona. We'll be right back.
Yes. Oh, I love this song.
Wanted to be true to myself. Hold my fate, I let it break. I wanted to be open. Hold my fate, I let it break. I wanted to be open for you. Two tight lines became my father like a werewolf. Make love to me like a ghost. Became my father like a werewolf. Your guts, what I desire most. Too tight love.
Here with Persia, Tyler Holmes, very yeah, Tyler Homos for the closer ones, and well, let's jump into now facing the fact that most of us, and we met in a theater and. We both work with live music performances, events, and we do a lot of that stuff. That's what they call the gigging economy, and it has been a big hit for everyone. I started doing this thing, and if you like to donate money to this thing, we take it. Yeah, donations. You can go to our Venmo at Brasilectro. I'm gonna put it right here. Donation.
Yes.
Yeah, at Brasilectro, and it's also been super fun to reconnect with people because on the on the daily life in the Bay Area, you don't stop. It's like, oh, I can do this in 3 months from now, or Friday night's completely full, and this and that, and then you just run after your calendar every single week. Uh, Now with this grand pause and the time that you have in your hands to do something different, your activities online. But you mentioned to me that you haven't had a day off in a month because you're helping your parents, you're doing a lot of things with the school as well. But how are you adapting and using your time wisely to stay above the water?
Yeah, it's difficult because, again, like I told you earlier, I haven't had a day off, and that's because I'm like helping my family, but then also I'm like doing drag stuff like Drag Queen Story Hour. I am doing I'm working with my first graders and things like that. And so I've been constantly busy, and it's been a blessing, but also like I need like time to
What what
breathe.
what is Drag Queen Story Hour for our folks that don't know it? What's
Oh
that
my
about?
God, it is amazing. So if you follow me on Facebook, it's I guess it's facebook.com/love Persia. Um, because I have like the other like performer one, but I'm never on there. But I'm mostly on my private one, right? So anyway, I've been doing Drag Queen Story Hour for this June is going to be 5 years. I was the first queen to do it in the Castro, and it started in San Francisco. I'm sure there's been other drag queens before that been doing, you know, reading to children, but like the official one was 5 years ago, and now it's become an international like program. So it's like people in Mexico City, people in like here in LA, New York, Texas, the UK, South Africa. It's really freaking awesome. And to know that I was the first queen to do that, that's kind of like, hey.
I pioneer.
No, and seriously, I live for that. That's one of my favorite jobs to do. If I could just do Drag Queen Story Hour as a career forever, I would be.
And when do we catch Drag Queen Story Hour? Is it going on once a week? What?
So this is the thing. So because now of like, you know, the coronavirus and shit. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. But yeah, because of the corona, now everything's online, of course, like we are now. And so they've been doing live streams on via Instagram and Facebook. So if you have a Facebook, you go to the Drag Queen Story Hour, or if you're on Instagram, you go to the Drag Queen Story Hour on their page, and there's like live readings. I want to say a few times a week. So I did one on Monday. Then there was this other queen who did it, I think, on Wednesday. But they happen frequently, and it's pretty awesome. Like it really is. Like seriously, it gives me life, because the way I tell the story is that, like, you know, a drag performer is just like it's like any artist. It's like Beyonce, like Prince. Like they put on, you know, the hair and like the outfit, and they go on. It's a persona, right? And they bring things to life, and that's what a drag queen does. Especially when they do Drag Queen Story Hour, you have to bring it, because let me tell you, the hardest audience out there are children, and this is one thing
They are super sincere and super hardcore.
Oh, totally. You know what? Like people read me left and right, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? I don't care, because once a first grader or a second grader reads you to filth, then you're like done. That's some badass read. But anyway, but seriously, like if you don't have command of a group of like toddlers, then you're not doing your job, because once you lose them, you're done. It's
Yes, you're getting really ready for the haters. Haters, you can come because I deal with kids.
Exactly, because like you're at a bar, everyone's drunk, and then you can always figure out a way of like bringing a drunk back. But a child, once he's checked out, like you're done.
Yeah.
You can't bring that. It's really hard.
Attention span.
RuPaul, I would love to see you freaking host a Drag Queen Story Hour.
Oh, challenge is launched. Hopefully, RuPaul will see Tamo Junto SF here and he'll catch up on that challenge. And speaking of all this inspiration and the energy, the artistry and that you have to have in order to captivate that audience, there's a lot of love involved. And this next track I want to share with our audience here has a lot to do with love. It's a track that has been touching you time and again. So every time now you hear this track, a little something gets going in your heart. Tell us about Eres Tú.
Oh my God, I'm like sweating even more now. So, you know, I was in a very long relationship. I was with a very magical person for almost 15 years. Things didn't work out, you know, shit happens. And now I've been single for like 4 years, and you know, I am living it up while trying to, and you know, working a lot and trying to like blah blah. Long story short, I don't want a relationship, but you know, I would love like a little like, you know, side something. But but you
And
know,
there are all kinds of relationships and ways to relate. Anyways,
exactly, yeah. But like, I don't want to be in a relationship. I was in one for 15 years. So anyway, but there's this one song that every time I hear it, I kid you not, every time I get goosebumps, and I'm always like, I want a boyfriend in my life, and I'm get all like, oh, it's terrible, and I want to do a drag performance to it, but I don't know. I'll probably just start crying.
you
Just play
should,
it.
because when you
Just
cry
play it.
during the performance, it's real. It's absolutely amazing.
Just play it and let's get it over
Let's
with.
get it over with. Is it from Carla Morrison? Is that correct?
She's this amazing Mexican singer, Carla Morrison, and all of her like music is just so angelic and beautiful. And but this song freaking hits me every time. Like I could be like whatever, and then I hear it, and then I get all the chills, and I'm like, and then I become this softie, and I'm like, oh. And
Oh,
of
I
course
know
I'm
the
like,
weapon to use now. Let's go ahead and listen to Eres Tú by Carla Morrison, here dedicated to Persia Romantica.
oh.
Hoy desperté con ganas de besarte. Tengo una sed de acariciarte, enredarme a ti y no soltarte. Eres tan embriagante, eres tú. Eres tú. Quiero contemplarte sin contar el tiempo, dibujarte con mis puros recuerdos, en mi mente marcarme tus labios, tus besos, estar aquí otro momento
tú sabes que eres tú.
Oh my God, isn't it so beautiful? And actually, I think if it was in Portuguese, it would be even like,
Oh, we're gonna try to find a
oh my God, no,
interpreter to do that one for sure.
oh my God, isn't it like so, like,
I love the lyrics and the vocals, everything. It's
it
just
makes me so happy and so hopeful. And then when it's done, reality hits, and I'm like, no.
and it's such a light song to play like in the morning, like you're walking around the kitchen or something. I'm totally gonna do
Like,
that.
on air, like I swear, like every time I hear that song, it's crazy. And not just that song, but all her songs. But like, it's just so beautiful. I just, ugh, ugh.
And I want to get into our last track of the night here. We're approaching our 9 o'clock hour. But
God, I told you
before
we talk a lot.
before we dive into it, we've been asking all our guests here. This is, well, first of all, let me acknowledge some folks that are really important to the show. First of all, Brazil Best Media. Without the partnership with Celso Braz and the Brazil Best Media channel, BrazilBest.com, this show would be impossible. Another reminder we have to give to everyone here tonight is about the Census 2020. If you have received in your home via mail a communication from the federal government about the Census 2020, please go to the website and complete. It's really important that we all complete. Es más importante que todos contamos, inclusive los niños. So it's really important that we count all the children and everyone in our county. So if you receive that, go to census2020.org and fill up your questionnaire. That is the only way the federal government has to know the demographics and the numbers for the distribution of federal funding. It is a fact that communities underprivileged or represented communities like the Latino community, African Americans, Brazilians, and folks of minorities in the Bay Area, they end up not completing the questionnaire. Sometimes they're afraid of the consequences, or this is completely anonymous. So they're not going to use your data for anything else than to distribute the right funding for the right regions. And this only happens every 10 years. So please go census2020.org and fill up your questionnaire.
Yes,
Have you done it?
of course, I did it a while ago.
Yeah, same here. We actually had the Census Day on April 1st. The Children's Network of Solano County, they promoted the Census Day. We were live on Facebook all day long, giving prizes to folks that would go and complete their questionnaire. It was really something. And the Latino community, it's really present in the Solano County. And you know, we know about San Francisco County being hard on the Latino community, and the East Bay, Solano County, Contra Costa County, they're embracing a lot of those folks, and we're growing stronger in these counties. So, speaking of Latinidad, we mentioned this earlier. We're not very religious, but we're very.
Before we get into that, because I was going through my phone a few days ago because there was a small earthquake here in LA a few days ago, and it like woke me up and I couldn't go back to sleep. And I was going through some pictures, and then I saw a picture of your baby when your baby was like this big.
I
Oh my God! How
she
is
is like
your child?
she's almost 6 years old now. Yep. You know, we just I went to see her up in Oregon because she lives with mom out there, and they're sheltering place right by the mountain, close to nature. She was going to a little farm school. She is all about the genderful folks. She's, man, you need to see that girl.
Oh my God, that's so crazy. It's been 6 years. Okay, I feel old. But anyway, but yes, I just
Yeah,
need
and
to
Charlene is actually here with us live. She keeps asking,
Yes.
are you on the comments there? We got some folks here. I've been answering names of songs and inspirational quotes and all that good stuff here on Facebook.
Oh, Charlene.
And
Yeah.
but we're strong on community, and we're strong on Navidad, which like there are lots of different meanings for Christmas, but I think the strongest one of them is the fact that we all get together wherever we are, and we exercise the gifting as a beautiful gesture to just like remind ourselves of this union that we have. How what Christmas and the figure of Santa Claus, how did that get inserted in your career?
Well, it goes back to Sancha and my ex too. I don't know. I just wanted a Christmas song, and one night we just. I don't know. We were drinking a lot, and then we just came up with the song. And
What is it? Was it even Christmas that night?
actually, I'm not quite sure if it was, but I was like, I need a Christmas song, damn it. And I love my Christmas song, although I will say I hate that video. But, I didn't have lots of resources. So
It's very representative. I gotta say that I felt completely contemplated because I saw the Union Square. Me and Charlene even remember we released the video when Melia was like a baby, where we were singing Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad, and then we would put the baby. It was like a digital Christmas card, and I relate to that song and the video quite a lot, actually.
well, play it and embarrass me. I don't care. It's fine.
Let's do
But
it.
you love the song. I love performing it anytime I can, even if it's not during the holidays. I
So
perform
here it
it
is, and
anytime.
this song is actually called "Santa Claus is Coming," because Santa Claus is always coming, isn't he?
Oh, tonight. Ah. Oh.
Santa Claus is coming, Santa Claus is coming. He's showing me his package, being early tonight. Santa Claus is coming, Santa Claus is coming. He'll shower me with pearls, pearl necklace tonight. Santa is coming tonight. Santa is coming tonight. Ho ho ho, holidays, ho ho ho, holidays, ho ho ho, holidays, ho ho ho, Navidad, ho ho ho, holidays, ho ho ho, holidays, ho ho ho, holidays, ho ho ho, Navidad. Santa Claus is coming, Santa Claus is coming. I promise him my cookies for his milk tonight. Santa Claus is coming, Santa Claus is coming. He promised me his candy cane tonight. Santa is coming tonight. Santa is coming tonight. Ho ho ho, holidays, ho ho ho, holidays, ho ho ho, holidays, ho ho ho, Navidad, ho ho ho, holidays, ho ho ho, holidays, ho ho ho, holidays, ho ho ho, Navidad. Santa, it's not even midnight. Ya estás aquí. I know I've been a good girl, but I didn't know I was that good. Thank you for all your presents. Now let me give you dessert. Santa is coming tonight. Santa, I'm coming tonight. ho ho ho, holidays, ho ho ho, holidays, ho ho ho, holidays, ho ho ho, Navidad, ho ho ho, holidays, ho ho ho, holidays, ho ho ho, holidays, ho ho ho, Navidad, ho ho ho, holidays, ho ho ho, holidays, ho ho ho, holidays, ho ho ho, Navidad, ho ho ho, holidays, ho ho ho, holidays, ho ho ho, holidays, ho ho ho, Navidad.
Okay, now you have to carry me.
Oh, wait, sorry, darling.
This is something, and let me tell you something. It's incredible. There is this little kid while you're dancing on Union Square in front of the big tree. There's this little kid standing on the right side on the background. He's like, "Whoa, look at this!"
And I mean that video, whatever. But like, you gotta work with what you got. That's what my parents always taught me, and so that's what I had at the moment, and that's how that video came about. Google apps. We made it with zero money. We just hooked up we called the homies. Homies had green screens, blah blah blah. Had I known that Google apps was gonna go viral, I would have looked way hotter. But seriously, you just gotta work with what you got.
It's the portrait of the moment, and that's you can't take. It's very legit to do it right there and then with what you can, and that also shows a lot of your origins and how you're used to deal with the tools you have. Like, I'm pretty proud, and I feel represented by your videos.
Well, thank you. Oh my God, thank you so much for having me. You should have Sancha and Tyler see.
Absolutely. Yes. I would like to thank you, Persia, one more time for being available for this. We are here every night. Tamo junto, which means we're together. And it's been a pleasure. So fun to have you. And it's such a blessing to see you out there representing your culture, your roots, and bringing that to the kids and having them feel like they're intimate with that image, with that figure, with the representation of the artist behind the persona. I really appreciate your presence tonight. Thank you
so much for putting it so nicely, because those kids are like, oh, whatever, you're dressing up again.
Yeah, no, but right now they're gonna say that, and then in 15 years from now, when in the middle of some adolescence crisis, someone directs a word or say something weird about a drag or someone in drag, they're gonna be like, "Fuck no, man! This person is completely fine." And I remember my first grade teacher; she was amazing.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Let's just close with my favorite thing was, like, earlier I was in this show called Translating Selena, and I played a Selena drag queen. Anyway, and I showed them a clip of like one of the things for the show, and I thought I looked super hot, and it was all like, and I was patted to the gods, which I normally don't super pat, but I patted, and I thought I looked amazing. So I was showing the kids, and then all of a sudden this kid is like, "So I thought you were supposed to wear a cute dress." And then all the other kids like stop, and then we all started laughing. So anyway, on that note,
Persia, everyone.
so much, and I will wear something prettier next time.
You wear what you wear, girl. You're doing this right. Thank you so much. We're gonna leave folks here with a bit more Santa Claus is coming, and I will see you next time. Ciao, Persia.
Bye.
Goodbye. All right, folks. This was episode 30 of Tamo Junto. Every night from 8 to 9 here in California, midnight to 1 a.m. in Brazil. Tamo Junto. Our guest tonight was Persia.
Being early tonight. Santa Claus is coming. Santa Claus is coming. He'll shower me with pearls. Pearl necklace tonight. Santa
You
is coming. coming.
Santa's coming. So stay inside. Stay inside. Don't go anywhere. Don't believe what they're saying. Santa Claus is coming tonight. All right, we're off the air. Oh, yeah, got it. You still there? Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, it was amazing. I'm closing the meeting here. I will send you. I have a full video that I will upload to my YouTube channel tomorrow, and then I'll send you a copy of it.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much.
All right. Have a good night. Thank you.